Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to Forts, where today is going to be the showcase of the Forts Map Making Competition 5. You heard it. This is the 5th map making competition for Forts, and it's gonna be a good time. All right. Give us a moment as we are getting everything together. And then we'll jump right into the action. By action, I mean it's going to be a little bit of cat herding here for a moment, as we're going to be hopping onto the voice call. We're going to be joining in with the developers. We have Lamo at Nose, 42 Scientists, as well as Kronk, who's helping out with the putting everything together. Alright. Let's go ahead and hop into the voice call and say hello to everyone. Well, hello there.
Hello, Incursus.
How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Good,
yes.
thanks.
I'm super excited for this.
I agree. The old map making competition or contest is really fun to watch. The creativity we're about to see is awesome to see from the community and stuff. And yeah, it's awesome.
All right. I believe we need you on Observer. So the teams should be, what is this? Hachoslachmaten and yes?
Yep.
All right. And then we should be good to go. I believe everything is already set up, as we'll be jumping into the first map here. All right. Once we get you in here, we should all be good to go. That's quite a smooth and quick start. You guys are doing very well. So let's while we're getting set up here, let's go ahead and do a round of introductions. Here we have in the call, we have 42 Scientists helping to put everything together and doing a lot of the cat herding to keep everything moving smoothly. And we have Blamo. Hello, Blamo.
Hey, how are you doing? Sorry, some tea went down the wrong pipe there.
Great timing. Oh, jeez. Blamo, that's it. Blamo hasn't joined us for one of these activities in a while. It's nice to see
No, I
you.
saved myself for these map making ones. So, yes, looking forward to this. I was checking out the maps this week, and the standards very high as usual. And as ever, it was difficult to cut it down to the top 5. So, yeah, excited.
Oh, good lord, yes. I went through an entire Excel spreadsheet, and it was a wild time, to put it lightly. Yeah.
No, there's some really good ones here. I'm really looking forward to them getting put through their paces by the community.
Great. And next in line, we have, you know him, you love him, it's Nosehead.
Hello, hello.
Okay, sorry
we
about
meet
that.
again.
Once more. Every time.
It should be all good now.
Yes. And we also have
Great.
Kronkinator in
Hello.
the Discord. Yes, welcome. Kronkinator, another behind the scenes trying to keep everything running smoothly. And last but not least, we have Romero, the ever lurker, also keeping things tight and together with the cat herding. There's a lot of background that goes into this. There's a lot of overhead.
And just to point out, Kronkinator is also a former map winner himself.
Yes, Kronkinator, very well known for having done, well, a lot of things in the community. Great little content creator there for himself in his own right. All right, I'm gonna lock the teams again, just so that we're all. Everything looks good. We have Great Roo, Flint Shadow, Acker Freak, Felix, Team 1 versus Team 2 on first map up. We should be good.
Yep.
Alright then. With that, let's go ahead and jump into it. As I'm not going to wait for them to respond.
Flynn.
Why are you like this? And
Like
just
all
like
those
that,
loading
we
screen.
are on to the first match here. The loading screen. Yeah, I've mentioned that like every opportunity, like whenever I do any of the lives here, that the new loading screen makes me very happy. It just looks so good. It works.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But here we have Flint Shadow's submission to the Fort's map making competition. You'll notice that Flint Shadow is actually one of the players here, currently on the right-hand side. They are playing as the Firebird Commander, with Great Woo and Flint Shadow looking to take their take this map and run their opponents down upon it. Their opponents, it's Felix and Ackerfreak, playing as the Architect Commander. Now, for the purposes of, well, this competition, we're looking more for the map than we are for the outcome of the fort smashing between these two teams. And to that end, well, we have quite an interesting looking map. It's very, I described this one as a cobweb of concrete. It's got a whole lot of terrain going every which way in what I can only describe as madness. Like we have a car here just hanging off the cliff in a divot that seems to be on a street that's just can't go anywhere. And if you manage to walk around a little bit, you encounter a pit with just a single light post in it. Like it just keeps going. The best part about it is it really does just keep going. Like you can zoom all the way out and go down and up.
It is really
It
deep.
is. Deep is a good word for it. It's massive. And it's not, none of it is playable area. It's just around where the forts are. That's where you can build. Like you can't go exploring everywhere. It's just there. As good as it looks. As chaotic as it looks. It exists, and that's all there really is to say about it, because that's all there is. So I am interested to see what you guys think of this map so far.
Yeah, I like how it ties in with the background. I feel like the foreground ties in with the background. Just the sort of general shapes we see seems consistent, which is always a thing. I think Blamo's mentioned in guides about tying in the foreground with the backgrounds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I always like to see that. See people like follow the example set in the official maps, and the Japan background is definitely one of my favorites. So always fun to see these. I like seeing the little, like Ingus was pointing out there, the little sort of Easter eggs of there's a little underneath Team 1. There's like a little building hiding away in a little cave. Team 2 has this random upside down flag. So it's been a lot of time and effort put into this. It's good to see.
Makes me think of some sort of alleyway in Tokyo or something.
Yeah.
Yes. I do like all the little details that go into it. And something that, I'm just going to say this because I know Flint Shadow is an experienced creator, map creator here. The space around the forts, like the actual playable area, is super clean. There's not a whole lot of mess around it. It's easy to see what's going on around the forts, despite the clutter that is the designated theme of the environment.
I really like
Which-
how close the forts are together, actually. I think it's
Yes.
and not only like side by side, but also vertically as well. It's basically a huge punch up.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't see either team go for rockets here.
Yeah.
Owing
Or
to
close
that
map, yeah.
range. But
Oh,
and it's
I'm down.
we're about to see Flynn go down as well. Death by fire beam, and it's about to get a. Oh, it completes just in time. The energy shield keeping him alive.
I really like the side fort as well. It's quite stable for a side fort.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
a good point. They
quite
can
make
be
it
a little bit
across.
sheery, can't they? Side forts.
Yeah.
Just want to tear themselves off the terrain.
Yeah, having that on the side, the lower fort, how it can expand out to that other little piece of earth there. It's nice that it gives the side fort that extra stability.
Yeah. I'm always interested to see in these maps when they got like the extension parts and how that'll play out and where the weight will be put, and to see if there is some interesting collapses.
Mm.
Although one thing I would say about this one is that the top fort kind of occludes the bottom fort from aerial attack, which obviously gives the lower fort a bit of an advantage.
It also makes mortars a little bit harder to use on this map. But again, the map, it's so close that you can do pretty much what Flint Shadow is doing and just slam mortars straight horizontally. Oh, but the missiles. Uh-oh. Flint Shadow now has access to all 3 nukes, which is always terrifying to have to deal with.
Provided he has enough energy to fire them.
Oh yeah, no, Flint absolutely does not have enough energy to fire them, and by a significant margin. But
He's
like,
pride.
certainly gonna try.
He doesn't even have the storage to fire 2 at once.
Yes, though I mean, Flint Shadow currently has a grand total of 0 energy production right now, like actually 0 turbines, which is not the world you want to live in when you're running multiple energy shields and nukes.
Oh.
Well, there go the warheads. You know the best part about this? Flint Shadow's core only has 1 energy shield. It's half exposed right now, like they could just shoot it. But
He's asking a lot from
Team
that
1
sandbag.
does it. Yeah, I mean, they just don't know it. He got lucky in that that Team 1, what is it, Acker Freak fired at Flint Shadow and hit the 1 energy shield, and now they're assuming that the entire thing is energy shielded. They don't even know.
He still doesn't have any turbines going.
I mean, at this point, he doesn't have any metal income either. He's
Or
at-
anything to fire, for that matter. Oh no,
Yeah.
there's one at the top.
Oh,
Nope.
not anymore.
Oh, there we go.
So, Flint Shadow's managing to sit on 0 mines and 0 turbines right now. Alright, yeah, he's conceding. He's conceding. There it goes.
Down he goes.
Oh, boy. That was beautiful. That was very well played. You'll love to see it.
I guess we can watch a second match, maybe. Oops.
All right.
Come on.
So, what do you guys think of that map now that we've seen it?
Just gonna watch some replay while we discuss this.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like the layout of the forts. and the extreme verticality of it as well. That was something I didn't actually appreciate when I first looked at it earlier this week. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, at least from a aesthetic point of view. Yeah, the forts being close together, I think I prefer a lot of the maps when the forts are close together. You know, it's just going to be, you know, not much chance for AA. It's going to be a slugfest.
Do you mean close together from left to right, like from
Yeah.
between the teams? Right.
Yeah. Like
What do you think about the space of the forts from each other within a team?
They are quite close in this one, but
Yeah.
on the one hand, they might get in with each other. On the other hand, the opponent just can't miss. So that's what I'm saying about it being a bit of a punch-up. Like I think Cursus was saying before, I was surprised that no one went for rockets because there isn't much opportunity to shoot them down. You could just punch someone in the face with a rocket pretty easily.
Exactly, and rockets are very punchy.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff? What is your thoughts on this?
My thoughts were similar to yours. My concern about it was that within a team that it was a bit claustrophobic with the forts being a bit possibly too close together. But I can see how that forces a particular, it forces a particular strategy, doesn't it? You know, which is I suppose is interesting in itself.
I actually think the spacing is perfectly fine between the bases. Because the top base has this little spot above it where it can put weapons. And the lower fort also has like the expansion in front, which we actually saw Acker Freak do. He placed his lasers there and it worked perfectly fine.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I just say that maybe perhaps like the overhang of the top one, including the protecting the bottom one. Well, not to say that, you know, all forts on a same team need to have the same advantages. It's just something viewed. I like the design of it, the verticality of the map. I would personally, from my point of view, it's a little bit too noisy with the terrain. But I do like the ways, you know, taking the aesthetic and run with it with all the little sort of steps and ramps and stuff like that. That's cool.
When you say a little noisy, do you like from the perspective of casting, say, future FPL matches, taking that into account?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like even around the forts are quite noisy. Well, like I've gone back to the lobby screen. I'm looking at the thumbnail, and looking at a thumbnail, you know, it's hard to make out where the fort is and where the train is and that kind of stuff. It's not quite as clear as some of the maps. So from an FPL point of view, I guess that's something if you're trying to attract new viewers and you know it'd be immediately obvious. Yeah, that's what I would say about that.
I think a lot of those things, like the thumbnail as well as the AI, a lot of the, I'm going to describe them as like metadata kind of stuff. That's something that I don't take into too much consideration when I'm doing these. I'm going to describe it as a grading here. Like I'm some kind of teacher trying to grade someone's homework, but I don't tend to take that too much into consideration, just because it can be done rather simply, pretty much at any time. And while yes, it's important for having a good map that people actually enjoy, for the purposes of discovering these new maps, it's just not really necessary.
I guess I come from a sort of perspective of creating them for the game. And so
Exactly.
I leave like the wacky sort of looking maps to the community. So yeah, a lot of the ones I create are quite, should we say, dry, and just let the gameplay speak for itself, I guess.
Exactly.
Not detract.
Yes. And that's something I personally value very highly when it comes to the maps. I consider to be highly rated. All
Well, like I was
right.
saying, all the entries been really good. Impressed by the quality and how many there were. To be honest, 19 entries and pretty incredible.
Oh Lord, what is it? When I was trying to put together my short list to showcase today, my number 1 and 2, as well as my number 1 honorable mentions, was super easy. The rest of them, I was like, okay, I had to do. That's the whole reason why I did the Excel spreadsheet. Is I had to like quantify every little thing just to try to nitpick as much as I could to find. It's like, okay, I have to pick 3 out of the rest of the 15 here.
Yeah. It's the edge case
do something
really
similar.
difficult.
Yes.
Like you
It's
have your
so
favorite
hard to
28.
pick.
Yep. Which is great. I mean, it's great that the consistency and the quality is there from all these different people.
Yeah.
The spec was to provide us with a map that could be played competitively in the Pro League. So it can't be too crazy, because people know, if it's too crazy, it can't be, it's not good for competition. Which then also made things a bit more, I guess, samey, because of that spec. But that was out of necessity for the spec, really. So we're probably going to see that these maps are all, kind of consistent. And I'm glad that we're going to have a few honorable mentions that might show some of the outliers, because that's always interesting. And maybe in a future map competition, we can put the competition side aside a little bit, and get some, get some more diversity in the creativity. You know what I mean? Playable, but not competitive.
All right, it looks like we're good to go to the next round.
Sweet.
Let's do this.
The teams are not, well, the observer tools. Yeah.
Ooh. Well, you know what? It's fine.
Whatever.
Actually, I can swap them in mid-match. We're just gonna get yelled at real quick by the players. There we go.
Post.
One of the two.
Great.
Ta-da! Almost like nothing ever happened. As we're here, we have, once more, we'll be checking out Flint Shadow's map. This time we've swapped the sides. We get to have a nice, thorough testing run through the map here. See what strategies are used this time. Team Yes is going with the Architect Commander, whereas Team Hachoslach Maten is going with the Eagle Eye Commander. Both commanders are most known for, at least nowadays, they're most known for their heavy weapon usage. They handle them slightly differently, with the Eagle Eye Commander specializing. The Eagle Eye Commander passive enables double shot heavy weapons. So you get these kind of really burst fire salvos, if you would. As opposed to the Architect Commander, it typically lets players play the catch-up game or the tech switch game a little easier, so they can delay their heavy weapons and invest into other assets, things like additional expansions, additional economy, and then use the commander ability, namely the double build speed, to catch up and actually slam the opponents with heavy weapons that would normally be an impossible timing. So this is not terribly uncommon build orders from what I would expect for this map. Unsurprisingly, this map and every map we play today will not be particularly well optimized, at least in terms of player build order. I will say this though, Flint Shadow and Grey Woo, they're just going sniper happy right now. Like this is just what they're doing. Oh my god, he can hit the mine. Why are you like this? Like this is not even doing much of anything other than just being mildly annoying. Which is just amazing to me. It's, you know what? You love to see it.
I really like the ways the top forts are connecting to their extension.
I believe that's something I had mentioned before. No, I didn't. I mentioned it in my own personal notes that the expansions are actually relatively easy to reach. Like some of these maps, the expansions are just almost unreachable in any practical sense. But on this map, they're pretty easy to reach, as you have just the layout of the map dictates that you get them almost for free or are incredibly stable. Like there is a expansion node directly behind the upper fort, just like in hang time. And you can do very similar things there, like do rear wind turbines that you could just slam back there. You can't get mines there, so it's not an incredibly important place to build things, but it's pretty cheap or free rear wind turbines, all protected and such. But yes, it does look like we're seeing heavy weapons out of all players here, which is not a surprise given their commander choice and on a map that is so vanilla-like. Looks like we're seeing double cannons out of Hahoslach on the right-hand side. And we're seeing mixed out of the left. Team Yes is going with the cannons from the lower forts and the fire beam and plasma beam from the upper fort. Well, not going...
Whoa.
I guess they don't have lasers anymore, which is really rather unfortunate for them. But they do get the first shot with the cannons, or at least the 20 mils. Interesting that they're going pure 20 mils here.
Oh,
Wow.
And it works. Felix, going with the not defending their core at all strategy, falls to 20 mils. That's not something you see every day.
I see the other advantage of having the forts close together is being able to grab your dead teammates' structure pretty easily.
Yes, I love maps that let you do this. Just because I like having enough money to actually win the game.
no, it's definitely a consideration. Sure.
And there's actually a special connection there that lets you connect to your dead teammate easier. It's right behind the turbines.
Yes, yes. There was another map I saw which explicitly did that, where they had these connectors along the walls that you could adventure, like travel all the way to your teammate's base if something happened to them. And let's see. So now we have two 20 mils coming out of Team 1, and they've managed to reconstruct their laser. The question is, will it break Acker Freak quickly? Or how long will it take to break them? I feel like these players are just agreeing to go 20 millimeters instead of standard cannons because they can, and I'm okay with this.
Me too.
Oh, the door snipe. Oh, the door snipe. Well, that's unfortunate. Selling your mines? What are you doing?
Transitioning into silos, looks like.
Interesting decision. I mean, I guess Hacker Freak's got kind of a lot of income, so they're not super hurting for it. They can do that.
Yeah, they have floated a lot already.
They're floated about 950 metal, which is not insignificant. It's kind of a lot. Laser beams. So at this point, Hacker Freak's kind of just getting pummeled, which is what you would expect in this context. They lost their teammate already, so they did manage to claim their teammate's remnant base, but given that the opponents have a lot of money and weapons, this can get pretty one-sided. Also, oh my god, we're going up to 520 mils. We officially have 520 mils active on team 1.
Oops.
Make that 4.
Oh.
3. Oof, and that's got some hefty deformation too. Not going to be able to get those back, or at least not all of them. As another door snipe. You know, this started with Team Yes just being obnoxious with the snipers, and they haven't stopped. Like they've kept that trend going. Like every time Hacker Freak opens that door, he loses the 20 mil every time. And then of course, well, with this kind of kinetic firepower, they just blew through the doors this time, leaving Hacker Freak with no weapons on the field. Although you were correct, they are attempting to get those swarm missiles going, but of course it's a little late, I think.
Yeah.
They needed to start that a little bit ago.
This has to be. There we go.
Yeah. Like, okay. Team Yes is like, okay, alright, we're gonna break him. It's time to do this. Oh, jeez. That's a good time. Oh boy, alright. So now what we have is an opportunity. An opportunity to get our ratings in, finish that up so we can get onto the next map, which I like this next map. I like this next map a lot.
Yeah,
It's a nice one, yeah. Really fun.
this is a good one.
It's a very competitive map.
Oh, you know, competitive. So this I will spoiler alert from my side. This coming map ended up the highest in my ratings.
Same here.
Like it was the highest, and by a fairly notable margin. Like when I was picking the number 1 map, this was easy for me, and just put it that way.
Yeah, this map was first on the team sheet.
Yes.
Really interested to see how the remnants at the top affect gameplay.
Spoilers. I'm going to make the prediction that the
Oh, that might
I'm
be
going to-
my fault.
app dev abusing dev powers starting the match before everyone's ready. It's fine.
I feel
think-
so
I thi-
powerful.
Oh jeez, it looks well. We were all ready and set up anyways. I'd preempted it just in case.
I can't even do that myself.
All right, so next up here we have the map by Mandalorian Jedi. This one is exciting in ways that we haven't seen in quite some time. So ladies and gentlemen, here we have on the left-hand side, it is Team Yes, Grey Woo and Flint Shadow getting themselves set up on what is a rather vanilla style map. Nothing exceptionally exciting here with regards to that. We have some expansions here where we start with relatively thin, slim forts, but that can be expanded upon to get some additional mines or stability. I like the back base in that the expansion is forward and incredibly easy to reach, so you can get this hyper-stable fort that's just dummy thick in front. So you go from this thin fort that's a little bit hard to defend the core to having this absolute chonker that you can just tank forever with. But they're playing as the Hurricane Commander, so they'll get basic build speed, just like a passive build speed bonus, as well as during their active ability, extra cooldown speed for their weapons, so they can increase that firepower as they see fit. But what makes this map so exciting is that this is what I'm going to describe as a drop the bomb style map. For those familiar with the drop the bomb map from, well, vanilla forts, we have this structure up on top, directly above the forts of each team. You know what happens when one fort falls on another? It gets real unpleasant for the one getting smashed. And well, there's a lot of smashing options available because each team has a derelict fort complete with howitzers and cannons just sitting above, well, just dangling, barely dangling above the player forts. And well, if something were to happen to this dangling forts, it will absolutely drop onto the poor players below and cause potentially catastrophic damage. Now, I did test this fairly substantially. It's a little inconsistent as to where the cannons will fall and to what kind of damage it will deal. In my experience, it doesn't land directly on the cores, but instead lands fairly consistently around the expansions, which can, of course, be devastating, especially to the rear fort if they're using their forward expansion for stability. But it does mean that, unlike in Drop the Bomb, the vanilla map, or at least the base game map, the game will not immediately end should a terrible fate befall the players. But that's still significant damage, and it's worth taking into consideration every time because it can absolutely swing the game. In the meantime, it looks like the players are being a bit extra cheeky. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
So, it begins the countdown. This burning is absolutely enough to start this out. You don't have to do something extra cheeky, like slice it off. No, you just ignite it, and it all comes crumbling down. Here we see the first little bits of debris. Just a mortar, nothing terribly exciting, but it's gonna escalate pretty quick here. Oh, the cannon detonates mid-air instead of dropping onto Acrofreak. That's about as lucky as you can get. Luckily for the right side here, Team Hahoslach Matzen, they haven't really
Close one.
losing a mine and causing his forts to wobble in a concerning way. Felix does manage to survive that hit. That was scary. That's exciting. And what do we have here? Oh no. They destroyed
they started
cannons.
top down.
Oh no. Team 2 managed to destroy the mortars, destroy the howitzers and cannons before they dropped onto Team Yes here at the left side. We're not going to see another significant drop. Oh. Well, that's a little disappointing, but I guess the players have learned. Did they seriously get that snipe off? No, they didn't. Okay. That was close.
I think that's pretty good from a balance point of view, because if it was like always, you know, fort destroying, that's probably too much. You know what I mean? In a
Yes.
competitive sense. Whereas here, it's sort of like, well, there's skill involved in how you set that thing off. You know?
Yes, I definitely like this one more than Drop the Bomb. Just because of the... I know, Blamo's here. It's okay. Little criticism, it's fine.
Many lessons have been learned since then.
Yes. Drop the Bomb taught us why we don't want to have Drop the Bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but also
And,
Drop the Bomb had the slight issue since the motor's range has been increased. You
Yes.
can actually set it off with mortars.
So actually, I was trying to set it off with mortars. Try to set these off with mortars. I wasn't able
Oh.
to set these off with mortars. The range just isn't there. At least on Mando's map.
Oh, that's a shot.
Oh,
Maybe you might be able to set your own one on fire. I don't know.
Yes, you can set your own explosive. You can set your own dangle fort, remnant fort on fire on this map, using mortars. You cannot set the opponents on fire, which I think is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that's great, especially given that if you set your own on fire, you're just gonna drop it on yourself, which is not amazing.
I love the term dangle forward.
Dangle fort.
Technical term. Interesting about this map is it's the same background as the previous map. Similar, nice aesthetic, and tied in with the background, but decidedly less busy. It's yet still interesting.
Yes.
I agree.
I vastly prefer this. I think one of the comments, my comments about the Felix map being so busy is because I saw this one first. And I was like, this is so clean and crisp and clear, and it's so pretty. I mean, look at it. It just,
And it still has
I like this map.
a bunch of wacky detail on the top. You can see the hanging gunners.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Guys.
Where did you go? I want to get off. I want to get off the swing now.
Yeah, there's a lot of work gone into this map, and it looks really good.
Yes, that I think there's a reason why this one was so universally liked by everyone here.
I wonder if Mandalorian Jedi starts with the name of the map first, and then he goes, once he got that done, now I'm going to think about what I'm going to design. Because all his maps for these competitions always have that.
Oh, jeez.
I think he's inspired himself from another Mount Fuji map he had done before. I think it was 3v3 or 4v4. Don't recall.
Yeah.
So many fire beams. Team Yes here is kind of suffering from success, where they've kind of broken. They've kind of broken their opponents down to the point where they're just over penetrating their base without dealing any real damage. Which is generally not the world you want to live in as Team 2 here, but that's what they're having to deal with. Team Hachelslachmatten is down to a whopping 0 heavy weapons, though they have a heavy laser halfway completed. Or halfway through construction. Otherwise, it's looking real rough here, as Team Yes is just pummeling with massive firepower. Remember that Team Yes here on the left-hand side is, they're the Hurricane Commander, so occasionally they just get massive firepower increase in the form of extra reload speed. As we have cannon after cannon and laser by laser. I'm kind of surprised Team Yes hasn't managed to actually finish off their opponents here. Although, we are getting to see the extra stability come into play here, as especially Acrofreak in the rear has this nice chunky bit in front of their base, which realistically, should probably increase the tallness of his base by at least 1 level. That way they don't have to rely on sandbags to keep the core alive. They can use sandbags and extra chunkiness. I mean, with that kind of space, like, there's no reason to get thick with it. There's no reason to avoid getting thick with it. Like, just go. Uh-oh. Oh! Trying for the trick shot. Almost gets it. Almost gets it. It just keeps burning through.
And Cursus, I don't know if you've seen this, but in the observer tools we have a last built option, which shows the name of the last built device or weapon on that player, and it also flashes, it highlights if something significant was built. I don't know if you've seen that.
Really? I've just seen it now, and I'm liking it already.
It's it's
Ooh! The timing on that
What
one.
a shot.
That was beautiful. Did you see the way that those shots merged together, then curved straight down, trying to take out? Those like cannons on the hunt.
So close.
That was, you know, I think I figured out why Team Yes hasn't ended the game yet. They want to do it in style.
Well, that reactor is on 1%.
Almost taking out his teammate. Oh no. Uh-oh. That's a lot of damage. Here it comes.
There we go.
From 1% to 0. Hacker Freak immediately taking over Felix's base again. The buzzsaws. So here's the thing. You know how that forward expansion is incredibly stable and almost holds up the entirety of Hacker Freak's base? It'd be a shame if something happened to it. They get their Magna Beam back? No? Oh no, I think they're just going for the kill now. Like, you broke our fun weapons! So now we will end the game. Here's the howitzer, and then we expect to see the cannon follow up. Straight to the front. And there it is. And Flint Shadow did lose a significant chunk of their weapons, so we're pretty much down to howitzer and cannon here for main damage output. And well, the fire beams are helping, but Hacker Freak is just, I mean, he's kind of breaking due to overwhelming firepower. Oh boy, yeah, it's getting rough. Here comes the killing blow.
Oh, there it is. Oh, double whammy.
There it is. Well played, well aimed. And that is Mandalorian Jedi's submission. So I'm a big fan of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to see it again here in a moment as we're going to swap sides. And then jump right back into it.
I will resist the urge to ready up. Alright, so now we'll get to see if the players manage to take greater advantage of the whole drop the bomb thing. Because, so, mechanically, Mandalorian Jedi created this map such that the bomb will drop and only hit the expansions. More or less, only hit the expansions. So, if the players haven't yet expanded
to those extra foundation nodes, then there's really just no significant benefit to triggering the dangle fort. So you've got to take that into consideration. Alright, Nose, kick it off whenever you're ready. So I'm curious to see how the players start to analyze that. And also now that they seem to have experienced the idea that destroying the payload of the dangle fort is not the ideal way to get it to drop onto your opponents. As we've swapped sides here, Team Yes on the right-hand side is playing as the Firebird Commander. Not sure what they're planning to do with that, but I am sure that we'll get to see sooner or later. Whereas their opponents, Team Hachoslach Maten, Felix and Ackerfreak are playing as Warthog Commander. Warthog Commander known for its heavy weapons. With its active ability, the Warthog Commander empowers all heavy weapons, making them deal extra damage, which is, well, it's devastatingly effective, and the players love to use it. It's just good. It's very good. Something to note, Team 2 here, Team Yes, is ahead of the technology rush, so if they're going for some kind of heavy weapons rush, from a timing perspective, we expect them to be a little bit further ahead. Ackerfreak especially has gone eco-heavy, so will therefore be behind in the technology rush. We'll see if that comes into play here. As we do see both Flint Shadow and Great Wu, they're not even hiding their tech, like they're exposed. One's going for energy weapons, one's going for the heavy kinetics. And they're just rushing out those heavy weapons about as quickly as they can, with very little extra investment into anything else. Like, these are near skeletal bases. This would not be out of place in a pinch fist style build. Alright, it does look like Hachoslach Maten is going for a similar strategy, but with a bit more investment into, well, other things. So they are a little bit further behind here. Team 1 is going for the exact same set of weapons, just having invested into mostly economy and some extra base expansion, as neither base here on Team 1 is best described as being skeletal compared to Team 2 here. Interesting. I'm going to comment on this because this is something that I do. I'm just going to say it's a mistake that I do fairly often. Both players managed to complete their technology so fast they didn't even build a place to put weapons yet. So they had to, after completing their technology, then went, oh no, I gotta put a weapon down. I can't put a weapon down. I don't have anywhere to put it. And then they have to build out a place to put it before actually placing their weapon. So that'll cost them a good 8-10 seconds there. But I don't think that's going to be of major concern, as we have a plasma laser being placed for Felix and an upgrade center for Ackerfreak. Ackerfreak is just going heavy on the eco, so we'll see how that turns out. Interesting note, due to the placement of all of Ackerfreak's energy production, Team 1 is notably vulnerable to that dangle fort, should something come crashing down upon them. Another thing about this map that I didn't mention before is that the only way to realistically trigger the dangle fort is with the fire beam. Like, you can't use most other weapons. I guess you could use a swarm missile launcher, But everything else just either doesn't ignite or doesn't have the range to actually hit the dangle fort. So there's no way to really do it before getting out laser tech, and then specifically a fire beam, which is an interesting note.
From my testing, I noticed it also works really well with plasma lasers. Especially if you target the howitzer doors at the top. Like it's just 4 doors, so 2 plasma shots will destroy it. And then the entire thing just comes crumbling down and either just kills your base, or really damages the expansion so much that you basically lost the game.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
the worst part is, as a player, there's really nothing you can do about it. Because
Yeah.
as the game goes on, more and more stuff will be placed on these expansions, and if something destroys them, it's basically game over. And I'm not a big fan of that.
So here we saw the fire beam actually hit the cannon, so the cannon will explode and not drop on their opponent, which is counterproductive. They needed to drop that a little bit lower, but here comes the howitzer. Oh, ho, ho. Critical hits. Acrofreak loses every single one of their turbines, an upgraded mine, and stability within their own fort. Acrofreak has been set back substantially on that one. Again, Hahoslach manages to hit the cannon instead of letting it drop nicely onto the opponents. But
here
the
we
howitzer... Not actually that heavy of a hit.
No.
That could have been way worse. Didn't even take out a mine. Just some stability within Great Wu's base there and dealing 1% damage to the core. But, man, having hit that cannon directly means the cannons themselves don't drop. So we only had that one howitzer, and, well, I'm gonna chalk that up to another mistake. They could have aimed that better. Of course, I say mistake as if either of these players or any of these players are knowledgeable of these things. These players have not notably played these maps because they're brand new maps, and this is pretty much the first time. I imagine the first time these players are actually playing on them.
I think maybe Felix mentioned getting stability tech going for a couple of them, but yeah.
Ooh. Trading cannon shots.
I'm definitely enjoying the battles on this map more than the previous one.
Yeah. This map is. I like this map a lot. I struggle to find something about this map that I can critique in a way that would be construed as negative. The closest thing I can say is me generally not liking gimmicky things such as the drop the bomb mechanic, but it's so very well done that it's just good. It's like, okay, well,
I think it just added a bit more variety without being like sort of catastrophic or game changing necessarily.
yes, exactly. And I say that as if Acrofreak here didn't lose massive amounts of his... Get set back massively off of that.
You knew the risks, though.
You did.
And I'm sure with a bit of practice, maybe they'll get some angles down and figure out what outcome happens where you shoot.
Yes, and I'm sure at some point people are going to start playing around with using mortars to detonate your own
Certainly,
bomb above.
yes.
Just so that you can deal with the consequences before you put any real investment into those expansions.
Yeah.
Trying to use the cannons for anti-air. Don't blame them. Howitzers hit real hard. Flint Shadow is still not adding an extra layer above their core. Like they've got a chunker of a base here. As you can clearly see that here on Team 2. But a drop shot just directly above the core is still a weakness there. And it's a weakness for both players. So I'm curious as to why they've decided to, I'm going to say, skimp out on the thickness. So we have more and more laser weaponry coming out of Felix here. Honestly, those rear forts almost look like boats at this point.
Yeah.
Like mini battleships. Interesting choice with the mortar. One incendiary mortar. Just coming all the way from the rear. As I still don't expect this expansion, this rear expansion, to last very long for Flint Shadow. There's just too many lasers coming out of Team 1. They cut so deep. I mean, he's investing more into it. Like, this is, you know what? He's having fun. He's having fun. And I think Team 1's letting him have it. Oh, yeah, it's straight to the core. Fire beam, plasma beam. It cuts real deep. And there you can see the cut. Oh boy. My question is, how long does the additional expansion last for Flint Shadow here? Because the extra turbines, they're nice. By extra turbines, I mean they're the only living turbines, because he's lost all the rest of them. Oh. Yeah, here we can see the consequences of Flint Shadow not building above his core. That cannon just dropped in from above, taking 15% off of his core entirely. Which is not amazing. Another hit. Friendly fire with the mortars. That happens.
He has all these turbines, but he's not really got much to use the energy with.
Yeah, not anymore. Although he's getting some mortars going, so that can expend some of it.
Oh, and they're on fire, those ropes.
Yep. Doesn't seem to he notices. Oh.
Just in time.
Flint Shadow's mortars are not making it very far. There's substantial anti-air. Although Flint Shadow's fire beams are keeping things a little cool. Yeah, looks like Team 1 is investing more into some anti-mortar options. Don't blame them, given the mortarage. God, the warthog laser beams that cut so deep. Look at it. It cut all the way through, almost to the final layers there. Oh. Flint Shadow's foundation's taking a hit. Another hit like that, we might see Flint Shadow's entire boat come crumbling down. Oof.
Machine gunner was doing a lot of work.
They really are. Oh, is that it? Oh. And it all comes crumbling down.
And the one that bit that survives is the one part we thought was done for.
Yes. You know, that's exactly... Yes. That's beautiful. Alright then. So it looks like we're about all finished up here with the grading, the ratings, and then we'll jump into the next map.
That's interesting. I don't see a ready button.
That's because host is still in replay.
Ah, that's why.
The way it crumbles. is beautiful.
His fire beam was still firing as it was crumbling, and now the fire beam was like starting to fry its own core.
I love it. I love it. It's so good. All right. We should be all ready to go here into the next round. So let's do it. And
Nice.
we're off to
Clean and
Dranistian
green.
submission. Yeah, this is very simple. It is extremely simple and mostly barren. It does fit with the background textures quite, very well. Like, the background is very clean and devoid of things other than rock, as is most of this map. Got that very jagged terrain.
Each sport's got a couple of expansions they can get to.
Yes.
Just see how that plays out.
Ooh.
Relatively close range map as well. The way I describe this map is this map is sufficiently close to the vanilla pattern that this could be in the base game and no one would know.
Yep.
No one would know this was player made. Which I think is about as good as a compliment as you can get.
This map was it was a hair's breadth between this map and the map by Felix. Really close. Similar design, like in sort of V shape. I think I just went over this map over Felix one because the forts were a little bit closer in this one.
Ah, you like getting the
I do,
close range.
but then I just really enjoyed those battles just before on a slightly longer range. So now I'm sort of reconsidering. Must remember this thought pattern for the next fort map making contest.
And this is another interesting note here, because this is a map that does have those side cliff forts, but these are incredibly stable. I think it's just owing to the placement of the core. How it's so relatively close to the wall, with, well, easy foundations all over it. It looks like, speaking strategy here for a moment, both teams have gone with the, why can't I remember, Seep Commander, which heavily implies that we're going to see swarm missiles and nukes. This heavily implies. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Specifically, Team 2 is going with the quadruple swarm launcher. Whereas Team 1 here, Acro Freaking Felix, are going rockets and swarms. So we're going to see the best of both worlds. I wonder... So the first shots fired go to Team 2. And they slam into the rocket player for Team 1, but they don't actually break anything open, so it's all safe there. But it does reveal exactly what Team 1's strategy is. So Team 2 will get an opportunity to prepare for it. In fact, we see them doing that right now. They're getting some machine gunners as well as anti-rocket defenses. First swarm missiles are coming out for Team 1 as well. A little bit of retorts. Swarm for swarm, and the first rocket volley is launched, and that's a heavy hit. You've heard me say this many a time before, but getting hit by the 3x rocket is immediately death spiraling. You need your teammate to save you after that. And, well, his teammate's gonna try, but we'll see We'll see how that manages to play out here.
Interesting.
They
They decided
from
to
both sides.
They decided to change targets. I wonder if I think maybe I would have continued focusing on Flynn there.
Those are just swarm missiles. Swarm missiles are never going to break anything. They're just more of a... Let me rephrase. They can break things, but you need to have a lot more of them than they have currently. The swarm missiles are really just to cause chaos. And there's not a whole lot of targets on Flint Shadow right now. Because Flint Shadow had already been slammed by the rockets. Whereas Great Wu had things like turbines still living that could have been targeted by the swarms. Yeah, it looks like Team 2 here, Team Yes, has actually gotten a substantial amount of anti-air, and they're taking out those rockets pretty consistently now. Team 1 needs to invest much more heavily into anti-air, into map control weapons, in order to have a real effort to getting those to land. But here comes the first nuke launch. And there it is.
Jeez.
An entire chunk taken out of Acker Freak's base loses 2 rockets and a shotgun, which is actually really bad for Acker Freak here, for Team 1 in general.
Oh.
Yeah, that's that's looking rough. Team 1 was almost relying entirely on that shotgun to keep Team 2 pinned down long enough to get those rockets across, and the swarm missiles across, and the nukes across. We got double nuke launching for... Oh, no! Felix shooting down his own nuke. Oh, that's devastating. And Team Yes is about to fire their own double nuke. Uh-oh. And they'll have the commander active during it. They could get the triple nuke launch. Yep, there's the commander active. 1 nuke launch. Heavy hit. Completely disconnecting all the eco. A swing and a miss. Flint Shadow's nuke just whiffs entirely, dealing 0 damage despite actually impacting. It's not something I'd expect to see. Ooh. Nuke shut down. Not too much damage, but a hit nonetheless. We're getting, going all in on the RNG weapons, just nuke after nuke. Uh-oh. Something to note is that the top base for Team 1, here on the left side, has not claimed their expansion. Instead, Felix is just now moving to claim that expansion, which... it feels a little strange given that Felix is claiming that expansion. But I mean, if Acker Freak's not going to claim it, I'm sure they're talking about it. They've seen what's going on. And Flint Shadow is just taking a beating. Like, his base is not happy right now, to say the least. It's damaged. It's got holes all over it. The whole place is a mess. It's just a disaster. Flint Shadow's just happy to be alive right now. Like, that's it. Oh no. Another commander active nuke launch. Going for Great Wu this time. Getting a little risky, trying for that longer travel. Wow. Every last one of those swarm missiles got shot down. This game is going to come down to whoever owns the most map control. That's how nukes always work. The one with map control is the one that wins, and the map control fight is raging. Not sure who's in the lead. Again, all the swarm missiles completely shot down. I feel like Team Yes, the Team 2 here on the right, they're struggling to maintain any strong map control options, but they're making up for it by virtue of having just an incredible amount of machine gunners. Whereas the opposite is happening for Team 1, who really don't have that many machine gunners, but they've got smoke and they've got distraction, anti-air distractors like the rockets, as well as flak. They've got good, strong options, just not a whole lot of them. Oof. The swarms make it, one nuke makes it, and second nuke taken down. God, look at that wall of lead that comes out of Team 2 every time they have something to shoot at. Uh-oh, double nuke. Oh, heavy hit. Flint Shadow takes a chunk of his base down. And with the fog launcher, the smoke launcher coming in, he won't be able to reconstruct in the fog until that dissipates. That's going to take a few seconds and give Team 1 a little bit of extra time here. Looks like Team 1's nukes have been reloaded. They're not quite ready to fire just yet, as Flint Shadow is starting to float a little money here. It hasn't reconstructed just yet. Lots of flak all over the place. And nuke taken out of the swarm. Whoa, that one machine gunner, not quite enough to take down this one. Honestly, I'm surprised. I am surprised that no one has exploded yet. Like, been completely destroyed. Like, the amount of randomness.
It's a good slugfest, this, isn't it?
It is. Which is very weird for a nuke off. Like, usually it's everyone's fine, and then suddenly someone just vaporizes. It's like someone lost their rolls. It's like, oh. All it takes is someone rolling a nat 1 or a nat 20, and it ends. Just like the whole thing just ends, and we haven't had that yet. Which at this point, given the amount of dice we've been rolling, real surprise to me. Like, look, Great Woo is even getting a factory. Like, how are you letting this happen? We had a factory for each side.
Oh, they broke.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that is it.
There's your nat 20. There it goes. Flint Shadow falls. Alright. With Flint Shadow falling, that's going to be a substantial chunk of Team 2's anti-air taken down. And that's going to leave Great Woo here not in a great place, if I may say, as Flint Shadow fell with 2 players worth of anti-air. Surely Great Woo can't survive long with only 1. We're seeing those miniguns come to bear for Felix.
Really
Of course,
pretty
miniguns aren't the greatest at taking down missiles of every kind, or any kind for that matter. But very good at dealing with other machine gunners and are still useful versus nukes and swarm missiles. And we have miniguns coming out of Great Woo as well. I was finally completing their upgrades. Great Woo has managed to reclaim the remnants of Flint Shadow's base and has constructed notable amounts of anti-air upon it. Wow, another complete shutdown. It's a surprise every time I see that. If Felix built an additional 2 missile launchers, or missile launchers, like double down, on the upper expansion, or I suppose the lower expansion for Acrofreak, I imagine we would see overwhelming power, and it would just punch through their opponent's defenses, like just get through the point defenses entirely. It's just a battery, just rounded out there, exposed. It's battery thing. Did you miss?
Yeah.
How did you miss with a nuke? Great, woo!
Point and click can be hard.
Yeah.
Oh lord.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a bit busy.
Yeah. I know it could be a bit intense to say the least. Honestly, those miniguns are looking like they're going to be the MVPs. They're just taking chunks of everything apart. Taking out anti-air, taking out mines, taking out turbines. Every time they fire those miniguns, something good happens. And they should fire them more. It also means that shotgun would be similarly effective. Similar levels of effective if they fired it more often. You just gotta pick a target and go, look, more stuff destroyed every time it pulls the trigger. Okay. Oh, that shotgun blast, so chonky. Another missile launch. Another nuke shot down. Every time those warheads get destroyed and turned into sword, it just sounds so ominous, like insidious. Oh!
Oh boy.
The nukes punching through, slipping through the point defense, but Ansier doesn't quite make it, and with it, Great Woo takes incredible damage. There's the ignite on the lower bits of the fort. Great Woo just trying to recover. Oh, and it all comes crumbling down. And the flame, it's too strong. With the plasma beam finish.
Boy.
That was like every device in the entire game in one battle.
Seriously, that was a lot of damage.
That was great.
Oh, Lord. Alright, then. Let's get ourselves... Let's go ahead and swap sides here, and then jump right into it once more. As we saw the nuke off going. Alright. Whenever the players are ready, we can kick this off. Let's see. Just waiting on one of the players. Yes, this is one of those maps that I rated as like it's so vanilla. It's hard for me to. It's just smooth, simple, clean. It is just vanilla-like to the T.
I think that battle then just sort of showed what those kind of maps provide. It's all about the players and their
Exactly.
skills and action per minute and their build orders. It was really intense battle. Really looked like the Team 1 was going to overwhelm and steamroll Team 2 from the beginning when they launched all those rockets, but they pulled it back and made a fight of it.
They really did. That first rocket volley was incredible, but they weren't able to capitalize on it. There's just too much time between the rocket volley landing and the nuke follow-up. It just didn't have anything aside from the opening rockets, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah, that's right. Even if it had one of those miniguns were doing great work. If they had a minigun to follow it up with, at least maybe chop through the bracing and get at the reactor. They did have a shotgun, actually.
They did, yes.
I think everybody's ready.
And let's go. All right, and we're off once more. Are they all in the same voice channel? Is that what's going on here? I don't see them in the voice channel at all. They were in the voice channel earlier. Maybe they hopped somewhere else. Good lord. They have to be doing this on purpose. As here we have on the left-hand side, it's Great Woo and Flint Shadow, getting defeated in the last round. Now they're playing as the Scattershot Commander. Scattershot Commander is known for its 20 millimeters. Notably, it gives upgraded 20 millimeters. During the Commander active, they turn into a shotgun of 20 millimeter, which is kind of a lot of damage. So generally, with Scattershot, you rush out those heavy weapons, spam 20 mils, and just wipe everything out with them. Their opponents, on the other hand, Hachaslach Matzen, Felix, and Ackerfreak are going for the Scattershot Commander. Scattershot Commander, known for its empowered 20 millimeters. So we'll get to see how these players manage to mirror each other through the build order. We can already see that Great Woo and Flint Shadow specifically, is just being a little gremlin with the sniper. Not even prompting a proper response at a team 2. They're just ignoring. Oh, no, he got him convinced him to build a sniper. Ackerfreak is now building a sniper to counter snipe. He's like, alright, I'm done with this. I'm a fire back now. But for the most part, the players are largely ignoring the sniper for Team 1, which is usually the appropriate solution. Usually. Unsurprising, we're seeing a munitions plant down for both teams. The question is where to place the 20 mils.
Probably on the extension.
That's where I would do that. Unless I was in the rear base, which point I'd put them above the turbines, but that's
Yeah, that's fair.
Personally. I'm curious to see where these guys place. Really? Going with the double? Like, you can reliably fit one EMP in the build order without notably slowing yourself down. But two? You've already baited them to getting snipers. Going EMP after sniper is... like, that's a mistake 9 out of 10 times. Although he's managed to shut the sniper down twice now. And, you know, with all these hits he's getting, it's paying off. I mean...
slowing him down.
It's slowing him down substantially. He's hit the technology again. Ackerfreak is only halfway done with that tech and is not close to it because it's been shut down and paused entirely. He sold off one of the EMPs. He's gonna sell off the other, I imagine, soonish. We have the 20 millimeters officially placed for Team 1. Not yet for Team 2. A machine gun, yep, there's the sell-off of the EMP, so he doesn't even get punished for this. Like, he gets the sell-off. Uh-oh. Great Woo, on the other hand, punished for their greed. A single buzzsaw destroying the entire expansion and the 20 mils which were placed upon it. That hurts. That hurts a lot, as now we have Felix placing two 20 mils of their own. Team 1 still ahead in the 20mm race. But Team 2 not terribly far behind at this point. Acrofreak a little bit further behind. Oh, no. They're just not terribly behind at all. The destruction of Great Woo's initial 20 mils have actually evened it out. So despite all that EMP play, things are approximately even right now. The first shots go... Flint Shadow pulls the first shots, attacking Acrofreak at the top base. Acrofreak taking substantial damage from multiple things at this point. Everyone has their commander ability charged, so whenever they want to actually just blow through someone, it's just a matter of pressing the button and having the weapons to do so. Looks like Team 2 is going to activate first, and won't manage to do anything of significance with it, owing to just not having enough 20 mils available.
Oh.
Team 1 activates, we'll have 3 weapons available to fire. Oh, death by buzzsaw.
That was about to happen.
Okay, yeah. That's... we saw that one coming. Felix falls. As, Great Woo took him out by the knees. Or was it Flint Shadow? I think it was Great Woo. Gave him the good old kneecap treatment. Terribly effective. Flint Shadow literally selling every one of their mines. And I'm not sure what the plan is here. Well, there's some kind of meme going on there. We may never find out what that is. As we have 20 mils of firing.
That was a lot of shooting for not much effect.
Yes. Flint Shadow now is selling everything in his base just to be able to do anything. Because, well, they sold all their mines and don't have any income anymore. Oh boy. Looks like Acrofreak returning fire using the commander active to get those shotgun blasts going.
There we go.
Lots of damage. Flint Shadow no longer has any weapons, nor any way of building them. Which is not generally where you want to be. But Great Woo, taking advantage of the commander active as well, to dig deep into Acrofreak. As buzzsaws have been MVP this match, like period. Oh, the core almost crunches. Just detonating by gravity. It's too much stress. The 20 mil doesn't quite finish off the core, but it was close.
There we go.
There it is.
Vicious.
So many buzzsaws. So very effective. And there you have it. Jernistian's map. Well done, well done.
Yeah, I thought that map played quite well.
Yeah. Two entertaining games. Definitely.
Okay. And next map. You can say he got a buzz cut at the knees.
I might put extra points to this one just because of the OST. Because it fits the theme, doesn't it?
Yes. We have this next map will be another map in the urban environment, which has been quite popular. This particular contest.
The background, the Mount Fuji background.
Yes.
Yeah.
urban environment with the mountain in the background. It's been quite. It is. I'm pretty certain it's the most popular most popular theme environment. This contest, as it's just everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. Not sure why that is.
It's a good theme.
I guess it is. That could be why.
All right, I believe. We have a moment taken here by the players, and it looks like we're good to go. So kick us off.
I think it's you.
All right, I'm okay with this.
Yep. If I ready up first, then it's in your hands.
Ah, okay. So that seems interesting.
Yes.
All right. As once more we jump into it. This map by Gibbs. Let's see. This is a map. This map is called High Rise. You can tell because it's in an urban environment.
A bit more straighter lines, I guess, compared to others.
Yes, it's quite clean as well. It does have some of that urban messiness to it that you don't get otherwise, but it's the good kind, the kind that looks satisfying. It's like an ordered mess. Busy, but understandable. Lots of slants and ramps all over the place. Street lights everywhere. We have a parking lot, so that's cool. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is the map I was talking about earlier when I said that they were expansions that are just explicitly designed to allow connection between the top base and lower base.
Yeah, on the back there.
There are connectors along the wall that the players can relatively easily reach, but they really just don't serve a purpose other than allowing for the connection between the top base and the lower base.
Oh no. Top right.
Oh, what's he doing?
Okay, they're not doing this. Okay, let's
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I tried this once, and I was like, I'm gonna have to spend hours practicing this because it's real tight in there. It is real tight in there. But I mean, if you could pull it off. Oh boy. Oh.
Clean.
Yeah.
My stuff.
Okay, you gotta. No. Come on, you could do it. You can drop it. This is the easy part. He's gonna do it. Okay. He's just being real careful with it. He's gonna have to get rid of 3 of those ropes. You can do it. Yep. Alright. Drop it again. There you go. He's just inching it down. He's taking it slow. He's taking it real slow. It's so close to getting tucked behind there. It's so close. I think he's gonna stop it there. Like at some point, like you can't spend that much time on it.
Yeah, you're losing time on tech and everything.
That's what I was saying like earlier. I was like, all right, I have to practice this just so I can get that behind there. Because that one's could be wild. As the EMP comes in here, doing EMP things. We've seen that tactic a few times before.
You got a howitzer on the way already.
Got a plasma laser coming out for Great Woo as well. So we do actually see both of these teams using the... I'm just going to describe them as expansion nodes to some degree. We have Flint Shadow using it to stabilize their turbines. Great Woo actually placing all their weapons there. Under normal conditions, probably wouldn't want to place lasers there because... or cannons for that matter. Just because they can't shoot up at the opponent's core. However, the opponent's core is not where their core usually is, so... I mean, I guess you're gonna have to do something about that anyways. Do something different about that anyways. Acker Freak choosing to place their turbines there, which actually seems like a pretty good idea to me. Let me see. I checked on the wind floor on this. Let's see. The wind floor on this map existed. Okay, so the wind floor should affect the turbines placed at Acker Freak's position, but not by much, as we have a swing and a miss. The first real shot fired by Felix, just completely missing everything, which always feels bad.
When I see the howitzer, I'm like, here we go, tension
like it begins, and then it just misses. Like, oh, you know, it happens to everyone. It happens to everyone. You hate to see it every time. Especially because it costs so much to fire, and it reveals what you're doing. Now the opponent knows they have exactly 30 seconds to react to it. And they did. Yeah. So now there's enough AA to shut that down. Okay. A 20 mil with the howitzer. It's an interesting decision. More firebeam. Oh, the double!
Oh.
Penetrates through, gets through all those doors and takes out one firebeam. Okay. We got a game. Acker Freak, despite the earlier core swing, has managed to recoup their speed. I imagine owing, at least in part, to the Architect Commander. Architect Commander, with their bonus build speed madness, allows for things such as this core swing without, you know, losing the game outright due to just being too far behind. As Flint Shadow's base is looking a little stressed. Double shot howitzer, that could have been devastating if that second hit had managed to get through. Just enough anti-air out of Team 2 to keep that howitzer away. Keeping Felix in the game is what that did. As the stress is just collapsing their own fort. The lower bases here are a bit hard to stabilize, as Flint Shadow has discovered. As now we have likely a killing blow. Oh, the core is exposed, fully exposed. All of its shielding, all of its defenses are gone, and that's it.
Night.
Player eliminated. Fortunately, we have those connector spots, so Great Woo just immediately claims Flint Shadow's old base, and that's the end of that. Great Woo now has lots of money, and no weapons. This is entirely no weapons. During that entire mess, Acrofreak managed to snipe out the last of Great Woo's lasers. So now Great Woo's got lots of money and nothing to do with it, other than construct more weapons, which is going to be a work in progress. We'll see how that pans out for them. Given the way these rounds have been going so far, I'm going to make a prediction. I know, controversial. I think Felix and Acrofreak are going to win this one. I really do. Although Great Woo is getting a laser, they've managed to place it back. As here comes Howie. Ooh, shut down. Last possible moment. He's just trying to straight chop him off at the knees again. I don't blame him. It's a good strat. Acrofreak's lasers are perfectly positioned to do that too. If he actually fixes his aim just a few degrees up, should be able to hit that critical foundation node. Yeah, you see, there it is. That shot right there is just a little low. Oh, but the howitzer. And
Nice.
there it is. It didn't cause an entire collapse, but it did cause some substantial deformation. And should Team 2 manage to hit that spot again, the deformation will only get worse and worse. Looks like they're aiming a little higher now, a little too high with that shot. But hey, every second Great Woo survives is another second they get closer to getting their weapons back out. Oh yeah, there's that cut. They were one wooden strut away from full collapse. They're relying entirely on their haphazard stability tech here. Even the stability tech at this point is flashing red. You know it's bad when the stability tech is about to break. Like, we've seen it before where we have these massive bases that are blinking red all over the place. But they don't care because the stability tech is fine. This thing is stressed to the point where even the stability tech is breaking. That's bad. That's what we call not good.
Technical terms.
Very technical terms. As at this point, Team 2 is just ramping up the damage. Look at that. They've got 2 exposed howitzers in the lower fort at this point. Like, I mean, what do you do? The answer is you hit it with the plasma. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
so close. I was so hoping that Great Woo would get off one shot with that plasma and just punish the hubris. All those exposed howitzers going away. It could have been so tasty. Alas, it wasn't meant to be. Alright then, let's go ahead and get these teams swapped around. Beautiful match all around. Love to see it. All right. Well, let's jump right into the next round.
That was a good battle. I enjoyed that. The layout of the forts and the foundations are a little bit more interesting than usual, and yeah, it was interesting to see how it happened. I was just watching the replay there of how who was it in the bottom left died spontaneously. He put the extra bit of bracing on the edge of his fort, which brought the howitzer down into contact with the lip of the terrain.
And yeah, that's all it took. The terrain on this map, the forts themselves are a little bit, I'm going to describe, difficult to work with.
Janky.
And that's by design. The word I used in my Excel spreadsheet is awkward.
Right.
I had a awkwardness stat, and this one was quite. These forts are quite awkward to deal with. They're not painfully awkward, such that it defines. It's not awkward to the point that it restricts the gameplay, but it's certainly something you have to take into consideration and affects the strategies and the aiming and such and everything. Well, everything, which I think is nice. Like it's always nice to have a bit of awkwardness in the forts. That way, you don't get these exactly the same patterns every time, and you have to actually make decisions about things. Like, okay, well, do we want to restructure the base now, later? Do we want to not restructure the base at all? Like, these are decisions you have to make.
Well, this one didn't actually make it into my shortlist, but having seen it play through now, it's I'm really enjoying how it's playing out. I was interested to see how especially the fort at the top played.
Yeah, the top fort is interesting in these two connections there.
No core swings yet.
Yet. I suspect if this map becomes popular, that we'll see core swings become the normal for this map. Okay. So it looks like we do have a bit of early game harassment going on here. Nothing. It's more of an investment into early game harassment than we normally see, but it's nothing that's threatening to destroy the bases. We're not seeing like rockets or mortars or really things that are intended to break the base, so much as we're just going to invest a bit more into making you have a bad day. You see buzzsaws from both sides now. Flint Shadow investing into double buzzsaw, which is an expensive investment. Flint Shadow will need to... should get some real damage done with these. By that I mean those turbines are not defendable from that angle, in that position. If he hits them, which is yet to happen. Okay. This is fine. Hey, there they go. 2 turbines down. But that actually just barely pays off. As turbines and the buzzsaws cost the same amount of metal. That's 2 turbines.
A lot of energy, though.
That is true. Although I don't think energy was a major concern for Flint Shadow. I guess Flint Shadow does...
Well, he was going for 20 mils, so I guess maybe he was set back a bit.
Yeah.
20 mil is sat awfully close to the lip of that rain.
Yeah, there's a world in which that 20 mil just hits the floor and explodes.
Recoil.
Okay. So this is one of those more fun strats, as we see Flint Shadow and Great Roo here on the red team, going for the Moonshine Commander. The Moonshine Commander's active ability causes all their weapons to have an EMP effect. So basically, they can just EMP constantly, which is a great and fun strategy to do when you have more damage over time or spread fire weapons, such as the 20 mils, because you can just keep the enemy in permanent lockdown. Unfortunately, they don't have weapons that can meaningfully aim up at their opponent, Felix, who has built all of their laser weapons above the fort, and it's pretty much leaving them immune to all damage because Team 2 can't fire upon them. On the other hand, Acker Freak's entire base is shut down. That's gonna be a fun experience. Let's see. I'm interested again to see weapons being placed below, like Great Race placing
yeah,
weapons below.
there.
There it is. Flint Shadow. I'm telling you, man, base construction is Flint Shadow's greatest weakness. Something always collapses. It's like Flint Shadow builds so wildly and so strangely that something crumbles. It's always painful. It's usually not lethal, but it's always painful. I think Flint Shadow just has so much experience with building crazy bases that Flint Shadow has learned how to build crazily without collapsing themselves, but is not yet immune to the consequences of building crazy. As there's more fire beam. That might be it.
Yeah.
That might not ignite until... Oh, ho, ho, ho. Flint Shadow down to 30% core HP with those fire beams. That's a lot of damage. Mass 20s with the EMP. Honestly, those fire beams from top are... I think it's probably a blind pick, but I think that's pretty much blind countering Yes's strategy here. Like, the 20 mil strat, the EMP 20 mil strat, isn't the strongest strat. It's kind of a meme strat, but it's also powerful enough that you can meaningfully use it. Like, it's a meme strat, but it also works, kind of.
The problem we got here is that Great Woo's 20s are underneath the base. If they were on top, then they'd have to split the fire beam fire, but they could shut them both down.
Yes. Just because of the positioning, just dealing with the terrain and the map, Flint Shadow and Great Woo's 20s, like, physically cannot actually attack Felix's fire beams, and that's letting Felix just do whatever he wants. And what he wants is slowly burning Flint Shadow to death. And there it is.
Well,
Yep.
Cooked alive. Taking everything in the base out with it. Like, there's not even really recoverable components there. It's Hagelslag. They're not even building. I mean, I guess they do have a plasma. It's just been shut down since day one. It's just been EMP'd since day one, but they're not even really building a lot of base-breaking weapons at this point. They're just igniting everything and letting the fire take it out. There we go.
Got the shot, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
that was
The plasma
satisfying.
finally got the fire, and it immediately took out Grey Woo.
That was good.
That was a good one. That was a very good one. I like this map. Well played everyone. As we get ourselves set up for the next round.
Which will be on Mech's map.
Okay. This is another shorter-ish ranged map. If I recall correctly, this map is another one that allows for some chonkers of bases.
Oh yeah.
Alright, I believe we are all good to go. Let's jump right into the next match. And we're off. This map is Mech 70's Boonies 2v2. Quick shout out, Blamo, Nose, Kronk. Make sure to get your votes in on the last map. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. All right. So this map is a very basic one. This is another one that I described as fitting very well into the vanilla type environment. This is this the map I was thinking of? Yes, it is the map I was thinking of. Okay. Yeah. So this is a map that had some rather costly expansions to reach. As I mentioned that earlier, where the expansions can be a little bit difficult to reach, and the benefit of them is not super amazing for their cost. So you kind of have to expend a lot of resources to get them to work. But once you do, you can like hyper stabilize your base for it. As we see here, Great Wu, for example, on the right side, once they get their fort, this expansion stabilized, and with all the extra mines and such, they can build up and can make this massive wall, just an entire wall in front of their core, which would be incredibly effective. Similarly, Flint Shadow could do the same thing in the forward base, where they can build down, and it'll be an unstable connection to start with. Once they get their mines and such, they can build up once again and have this massive, thick chunk of a base. And that's something both sides can do, although it's something we're not going to see both sides do. As here we have on the left-hand side, Acrofreak and Felix are with the Seep Commander. You know what that means? Missiles, swarm missiles, and nukes. And we're going to see a few of those come out here pretty quickly. An EMP, a quick EMP out of Flint Shadow. Clocking in, coming in, and completely shutting down Acrofreak. Just entirely shutting him down. And again, that is 3 mines, the technology, and the core shut down. Like, that one's a lot of damage. We do see a sniper and a machine gunner come out from Team 1, Felix, Acrofreak's ally, keeping Flint Shadow's EMP at bay, and stopping that madness. Alright, I suspect we're gonna see Flint Shadow actually sell off their EMP here. Yeah, they fire it one last time and then sell it off. And it hits! Oh, it hurts so much. It hurts my soul. In either case, Team 2 here, Team Yes, Flint Shadow and Great Wu are playing as the Architect Commander. So we're going to expect to see some late game stuff. With a mild divergence. Oof. Buzzsaw Strong taking out that entire section that Felix had constructed above their mines with all those flak. They all went away. We do see rear wind turbines out of both of the upper bases. Okay, we're going with the meme strats here already. You'll have to see it. It looks like Felix is going to be having to stick with shotguns for map control this time. Did we just have a sniper hit? We did. That core just got sniped through an open door. Like, the core got door sniped. That's not something you see every day. Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Massive damage.
The shotgun actually... Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Great, what? 5% health.
Great Woo getting his core door sniped again. Down to 5% HP. Pretty rough start there for Great Woo. Acrofreak also suffering similar levels of rough start. Where Acrofreak is... it fully intended with going Swarm Missile nuke, but ended up having their Swarm Missiles destroyed after they sold off their workshop. So now they couldn't even reconstruct the Swarm Missiles, and are now having to reconstruct their technology, their basic workshop, before they could even start construction on the Swarm Missiles, which is just a really rather unfortunate situation to be in when your whole strategy involves the Swarm Missile rush. Especially given that cannons have been out for some time and are continually firing upon you. Oh, he tried. Oh no! He did it again. They tried for the meme strats, they tried the Magna Beam, and they were punished by Sniper. Well, that happened.
What do we think of the map?
I struggled to find much to say about this map.
It's quite simple,
plain.
but it works. Yeah.
Yes. Its defining feature is its simplicity and plainness. I described it as mechanically a perfect fit into the base game. It's got vanilla levels of everything down to literally a copy-paste the vanilla starting fort. The expansions are a little costly to reach, but nothing like super extraordinary. Bases are close enough such that they can expand to each other, even though they would then have to pay the expansion costs. So let's say if someone's fort explodes, their teammate can take over. The only other thing notable about this is because of the location and, well, strength of the expansions, you can absolutely use them to stabilize the fort such that you can build massive chonkiness.
Oh. That was almost sweet.
That was never going to get a loop shot, but that did a lot more damage than I expected.
I found that the top base, in relation to the bottom base, is like deeper. It's further back than other maps I've seen of this type. Do you know what I mean? Like they're spread out more horizontally, which is I guess a unique feature.
Oh, he gets it.
That was a nice shot.
What a shot.
Right through the weak spot and into the core.
I think that uses door snipe as well.
I will have to check the replay on that one. I don't think it was a door snipe. I think it just went through the wooden half of the tiny door.
Okay. Fair.
But I'll have to check the replay on that one. But here we have a rapid expansion. Acrofreak claiming Felix's remnant base. Oof. Well, there go the shotguns. And without the shotguns, Acrofreak really has very little hope of these nukes ever landing. So we're not expecting this. I'm not expecting to see much out of these nukes. I mean, there's always a chance. There's truly always a chance.
Ouch.
Cannon just dealing damage after damage. More fire beams. I see that Team 2 has correctly recognized that the shotguns are the biggest threat. Because while the nukes are absolutely the biggest threat, they do very little, if anything, while those shotguns go away. Just because it means they can have infinite anti-air. On the other hand, Flint Shadow, well, on the other hand, Flint Shadow may want to invest in some EMPs, although it would seem that they fully intend on just using the trick shots to avoid the portals entirely, which is probably my preferred solution, if only because I like watching trick shots.
Yeah. The only thing I say about this map is that the rear fort is really well protected with that lip above it that shelters it. I mean, we just talk about mortars here, I guess.
Yeah, this is a map where mortars are not super effective because of that. Same thing with the space laser.
Yes.
We've seen plenty of maps that have a similar kind of lip. Like Hang Time is another example of that. I've not seen it be just generally incredibly important. Like, it doesn't massively affect the game.
Yeah.
It's just something to note. It is possible to hit terrain there instead of fort if you don't aim it precisely. The buzzsaws are getting so much value. They just get so much value. It's gotta feel so bad to be Aggro Greek. Just having their turbines just constantly devoured at all points in time. There's that EMP coming out again from Flint Shadow. Oof. Oh, that hurts. That leaves Aggro Freak with 0 energy production, putting them at, what is that, plus 30 total, which is incredibly painful. Oh!
That's a trick shot.
Yeah. And with that, the core is vulnerable. And we see the flames
And
come
slightly
to burn.
toasty.
Yeah. Flint Shadow and Great Woo not even going for the trick shot finish. I'm disappointed. Oh, Lord. That's good. Okay, then. We'll be getting ourselves set up here for the next round.
Oh. Yeah, Great Woo needs a moment.
Yes.
Well,
Alright, so we may need to find a replacement here for Great Woo real quick.
Yeah, it's interesting how Forts is sort of multifaceted in the types of competitions that it can have. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool that we can have competitions that are, okay, let's see how well you can play Forts and who can play competitively, but we can also have these kind of competitions where it's like We can, who can make the coolest map, maybe we'll have one that's who can make the coolest mod, But there's just so many interesting aspects to it that lean itself to competition. This is like creative competition in a way.
Yeah.
And like making these maps, it's interesting because it's not only is it artistic, but it's technical as well, right? Because you have to make your map work mechanically with the way the game plays, right? So, but there's also that aesthetic thing. So it's quite tricky for these map makers to make these maps. We're quite quick to say, oh, this is this and this is that, but it's a lot of work that goes into these maps, and it's quite interesting seeing the subtle differences between them and going through this rating process and scoring process that we're going through to deem one is better than the other.
Yes, fine margins definitely, and these are experienced guys who know the game so well. It's great to see them apply that knowledge to their creations.
I mean, are we playing? We're going.
Good to go.
Yep.
We're good to go. Excellent.
Yes, I always feel a little bad just saying, oh, it's just a vanilla map. It's like perfect. It just does all the vanilla things, because it glazes over all the details, all the what's the word I'm going to use? It glazes over all the well optimized, refined, and high quality, like the actual work that goes into making that happen. Because we can go into the workshop and find, oh, here's my first map, or just across the board things that are, I don't want to say unplayable, because that's technically not true, but not something that I would want to play or enjoy playing, or otherwise something that I would have to like actively fight the map just to play the game. And the quality of these maps that these map creators are putting together, a lot of that quality is invisible.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I always feel a little bad saying things like, oh no, it's just a simple map, because it's not. It's never simple. It's never easy. And it always feels like I'm downplaying it somewhat whenever I say that. But I don't know how to better describe that than it is clean, middle of the road, and a perfect sandbox type environment for players to do whatever they want to do.
See, Flint Shadow is, they've chosen Shokanor, and he's stuck a barrel down there.
I think they've had enough. I think Flint Shadow has had enough of those buzzsaws.
Yeah. We're a menace.
He's like, nope, my bases can't handle this. We're done. But that works. The I do actually like Shokanor these days. Shokanor is actually pretty good. It's fun, enjoyable, little gimmicky, but gimmicky is not the right word for it because it doesn't rely on the gimmicks. It just also has the oil barrel gimmick, which is fun.
Great, we're just spending his time protecting that front mine.
He's gotcha. Hahaslach. They're going hard with the snipers. Their return. It was Team Yes in the previous match. It was doing all the sniping stuff. Now that's their turn to take.
I'm really loving this wood rope.
Oh. Couldn't quite make out
Why?
what Flint Shadow was doing there.
You know, when it comes to base design, I've stopped questioning Flint Shadow. It's
Nothing
an
to see
exercise in
here.
frustration.
Just airing the fort out.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
New update with core efficiency. If you have more background around it, it works better.
More cooling.
Yeah.
There's the buzzsaws. Oh, and the snipers. Oh, great. We'll loses a fire beam already. Yeah. So with Shakana, the Shakana commander grants access to the oil barrel, which we have seen Flint Shadow using to... Which I'm entirely convinced. I'm convinced this is entirely the reason why. Just explicitly because Flint Shadow wanted to use an oil barrel. But more importantly to the match, the benefit of the Shakana commander is it, during the commander active, upgrades your... I'm going to describe them as hybrid weapons to the more powerful version of them. Say the fire beams upgrade to the plasma beam, the 20 mil upgrades to the standard cannon. So here we see these fire beams firing actual plasma rounds here. That's the strategy they're going for. And it's effective. It hits a little bit earlier because you don't need to invest into those heavier weapons, but it's a little less consistent because you can only fire during the commander active. But it is quite strong. On the other hand, Team Felix and Ackerfreak have gone with the Architect Commander. So that's why we see a fairly heavier investment into economy or literally anything that isn't heavy weapons, such that they can then use their active commander ability and rapidly construct everything, which is quite good. It is a popular strat for a reason. And again, Team ES is getting bullied by fire beams. Using the active commander, the commander active, to land those heavier hits. I will say this, Team Hagelslag is oppressive with those snipers at this point. Literally, Flint Shadow hadn't even fired their weapon yet. They opened the door and it got sniped. He had to close the door and stop firing. And just skip the firing phase entirely. Just we didn't lose his weapons to standard snipers that are just scanning his base. Door snipe? Yep, there it is. Called that one. This one, Felix and Ackerfreak are just kind of pulling an outclass strategy. That's what's going on here. Like, they're not doing something crazy other than just hitting their shots, landing their timings, and just being all over the place. Alright, you can get the headshot. There it is. Great Root loses the sniper. Okay, what have we got here? Buzzsaw. The Buzzsaw returns to haunt Flint Shadow once again. Over penetrates, but finds nothing to hit because they already sniped it. Oh boy. Oh, the barrel!
The barrel?
The barrel! Oh no! The only reason you have that barrel, and it goes away due to an explosion. Oh, that's just...
He'll recreate it, right? Yep.
Yeah. That's just hilarious. Oh. But there go the turbines. Ackerfreak about to have some energy, about to hit an energy crisis. There goes another fire beam. So Great Roo and Flint Shadow have officially been reduced to 0 weapons. The only thing that they have is a couple of snipers and a swarm missile launcher, which is 3/4 of the way completed. Mind you, they are constructing more weapons. Like, they've been constantly constructing more weapons. It just doesn't last very long. They could really use some energy shields at this point, I think, because Acker Freak is doing a little heavy on the fire. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Felix.
Amazing. Oh, wow.
The
What a
door
random
snipe.
thing to happen.
Death by his own cannons, collapsing it upon himself and bringing the core down with it. That's... You hate to see it, you love to see it.
That was incredible. Those fire beams finally bit them in the backside.
They did. That was
Igniting those
good.
buzzsaws.
That was real good.
Oh, good shot.
Yeah, it's great.
Rockets. Interesting decision
Oh,
for this
wow.
stage of the game. But that's a heavy hit.
It is.
It does do enough damage
Wow.
Kill, yeah.
to
Nice.
make way for the core.
Ooh.
Oh, and instantly grabbed.
Well, he does have a lot of turbines, so he can sustain that kind of fire.
Yes. Mind you, the shotgun active ability also shuts down turbines, which may be relevant here because we have some...
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of... That's going to be a lot of economic damage. Because Acker Freak is relying on extremely energy-intensive weapons with the 3x rockets
Ooh,
and
save.
lasers.
That's looking a little rickety.
Oh,
There it goes. The last of Great Roo's base collapses. Yeah, like I was saying, this map is designed such that you can realistically get to your teammate's base. It's doable, but it's expensive. And once you do it, you can double back and construct it such that you can build an incredibly stable foundation. It's just a matter of getting there and having the time to expend it. But
there's a super
that'll be
clean
the end of
comeback.
this one. A beautiful... Yeah, honestly, that was one-sided up until that one buzzsaw shot.
Yes.
And then, well, Acker Freak finished it out. I want to see that buzzsaw shot again. 'Cause that just made it, like, clean through.
Just watching it again there. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, I thought it was the door snipe, but it wasn't the door snipe. It just went above the weapon. Gosh. So much damage. It's beautiful.
That's a great thing about this game, these random things that, yeah, just can't account for.
Okay. As we get set up for the next one.
So that was the 5.
Yes. So make sure to get your votes in for those top 5 as we'll be doing the honorable mentions next.
I guess before revealing the winner.
Yes. And then we can do all of these. This one, I will say this map, it's well made. It's in all the metrics I have, like everything observable. It's a good map. I am biased against it because it's Hill Fort 2v2.
Right. I like this one. I'm interested to see how this one plays out. This is my 5. As the creator of Hill Fort.
We found him.
Everybody loves Hill Fort and Hill Boat as well.
I appreciate its existence. I really do.
Hill boat. That's just an
Hill
odd
boat.
combination of words.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Hill boat.
It's got a real ring to it.
Oh gosh. Oh lord.
Someone had to do it. Samster did it.
Oh boy. No, it's good. It's actually good. It's just Hill. Oh, is pain in my soul. Okay.
Are we ready?
I believe so.
Yep.
Let's do this. Once more into the fray. Alright, and we are off once again here on the left-hand side of his team. Yes. Flint Shadow and Great Rube playing on this new map. Here we have Samster Birdies, Block Arches. I just described this map as Hill Fort 2v2 because it's Hill Fort 2v2. You can tell because it's got forts and a hill in the middle. And it's also got a floating hill in the middle in case you thought the other player was safe from the hill. So an interesting... Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. An interesting dynamic of this is because of the locations of the bases and the hills, it also means that the lower base has a clear line of sight to the opponent upper base. So you can do this kind of cross battle that you can't really do, and as you can't really fight your direct opponent in the same way, just because of, you know, the hill. All right, please tell me you can get the snipe. Oh, you're so close. Flint Shadow going to the air-cooled core. Oh boy. It's so close. You could do it. Hey, there it is. Now Flynn's got to react.
1, 2.
All right, Flynn. This you gotta.
3.
It takes 7 hits to kill, so there's no way.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on,
5.
Flynn.
Place the sandbag.
Flynn. Oh, it's too late. Why have you done this?
He didn't even try. Come on.
Oh.
Well, I guess we can redo this one.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
could just redo this
Yeah.
one.
We owe it to Sam's Birdies to redo it.
We do. Oh
Yes,
gosh.
Yeah.
Flint Shadow
Just like what?
immediately
Exactly.
blames lag.
Oh, damn.
Why are you like this? Forts Pro League teams, by the way. They are. These are Forts Pro League teams. Like, they were like top competitors. Oh gosh. Oh
Those players
lord, that's beautiful.
That was the elite.
Tactical restart. Uh, I can't. This is so good. Croc, ready up.
I am.
He's ready.
Does it not show?
No, do it again. There you
Try now.
go. Desync.
Okay.
We're good. 7 hits on an air-cooled core. You'll never see that again. Well, at least no one needs to like change their strategy because no one's strategies were revealed. But speaking of strategies, both teams are playing as the Warthog Commander, so we've got ourselves a bit of a mirror match here. Warthog Commander, known for its late game plays because of its empowered heavy weapons, we can reasonably expect to see those. I imagine we're going to see lasers favored over cannons here, due to the nature of the map. Cannons can be a bit... having to deal with gravity can be a problem when you have to get those very precise shots around the hills. Because otherwise, the hills literally just get in the way. Of course, we see gravity used as a feature rather than a bug in Standard Hill Fort, because Standard Hill Fort, you have to get around the hill by going over it, so you can send those cannon shells over it and let them arc down into your opponent's core. Here, due to the ease of the crossfire, I imagine we're likely to see lasers here over cannons, but why not both?
We could see cannons from top forts.
You could see
the angle
cannons from
shots.
town courts, yes. That wouldn't be crazy. Could also see cannon from bottom forts, but if we see cannons, I expect that they'll be mostly used.
Yeah.
They'll be used mostly for the direct engagement rather than the crossfire. Which is a decision, and it's a perfectly good one, I imagine. We do see munitions plant coming down for Flint Shadow in the lower fort. So that's going to be cannons out of Flint Shadow. We're seeing an upgrade center for both teams here. In fact, 3 players are going for an upgrade center, which is just weird to me, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Maybe they are expecting the hill to bring some more defense.
Oh, Felix,
no,
you
Felix.
mad
Oh,
lad.
Felix, yes.
Okay, I see what's going on here. We're getting some... I'm just going to say it. We're getting an accelerator, specifically a minigun accelerator, which can never fire at the direct opponent, so Flint Shadow is safe. Great Woo, on the other hand, is not. Great Woo going with cannons. You know, I guess I was wrong. Both players of Team 1 going for cannons. Team 2, however, just sold off their laser production facility. So I don't... The decisions have been made. Felix is about a couple of seconds away from activating the accelerator. Watch Great Root get like a single energy shield here and just end Felix's entire dream.
I love all this stuff that's in the game that we never designed in the original game. It's that all the players have come up with, like accelerators and core swings and stuff. It's like
you guys made a great sandbox. It's beautiful. We're seeing tier 3s. All right, so we're going full meme for this one. We're seeing tier 3s out of Flint Shadow. Acker Freak is looking like they want to build an accelerator. I don't know what's going on up there. Felix has an active accelerator. It's currently charging. I think he gets one more volley in, and then he unleashes death. There's no way that hits his target. And that is not aimed well with
It's
that
not angled enough.
portal. Yeah, no, he needs to add like another 10 degrees onto that.
Oh, yeah.
Right, he's full charging this sucker. Like he's not even just trying to see where it's gonna hit. Unfortunately, yeah, Great Woo got shields. Yep, swing and a miss. Just
Talk about
over
straight up
Flint
wall.
Shadow's base. You get like 2 frames of it on screen. It's just a glow and then it hits somewhere.
Accelerator go brrr.
Not the angles you're used to aiming accelerators on. Yeah, no kidding, eh? Oh god. Great Woo immediately invested in those 4 shields, but didn't have turbines active, so he ran out of energy. I think I think that's still aimed a bit low for Felix.
Yeah.
It's definitely better. It might scratch the bottom of Great Woo there, which
But nothing important.
yeah, that's not gonna. You can see those shields are not hidden. You can see them. But that's not. Okay. Felix needs to get that EMP going or something similar. Hacker Freak is indeed setting up an accelerator of a slightly different design. Oh yeah, he did actually scratch the bottom of Great Woo with that one. He did it.
Yeah.
Got it close. So Hacker Freak has a different design as the tier 3 has officially fired. So Felix and Hacker Freak are seconds away from potential disaster. Let's see, Hacker Freak needs to set up his exit portal. Nope, swing and a miss. Tier 3 lands way off right side of the screen.
Those are the legit tier 3s.
Yes. Not even portal tier 3s. I approve.
Portalness.
That's a good angle, I think, for Hacker.
I think it might be a little low for Hacker, but it's going to be close.
Okay.
Well. There goes the portal.
We'll never know.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Great Woo, if you don't accelerate that howitzer, I'm going to be disappointed. We have 3x tier 3s for Flint Shadow, which is a lot of tier 3. Felix is charging his accelerator again. Hacker Freak's accelerator is kind of stuck charging and can't discharge. Not for a moment, at least.
There's a slight
Shot.
Yeah.
Well, it took out every piece of wood underneath Great Woo's core. That's the best possible hit they could have. Do the most possible amount of damage, and that's just that's it. There's too many energy shields. They need to deal with the energy shields. Those tier 3s look a little far.
Yeah, they do.
I suspect they're going to be off right field again, but yeah, slightly off, but that's terrifyingly close is what that is. Uh-oh. It's oh boy.
This one looks good.
Primed.
Yeah, that one looks good. Felix might be in trouble here. Oh, clean! I'm sorry. I love those shots because not only is it a perfect shot, but it completely over penetrated and came out the other side.
You can
Like,
even
you can't-
see the slower speed.
Yes. Oh, the buzzsaw. Oh no. And I mean, what do you?
Yeah.
Felix
He's trying
needs
to angle down with
anti-portal.
a portal here.
Yeah, he's trying to. The buzzsaw exists, which is just gonna chop that off. It just infinitely. And there's still energy shields everywhere. As the howitzer is
a
trying to go
slight-
up.
slight spot.
There's a
Into the
slight
water.
spot there.
Ooh.
It's got a few
Unless this
seconds to
cannons-
get it to work.
Oh, this might work.
Yeah, the 20 mils are pretty much
RMT
zeroed
doing
in.
its
Oh,
thing.
well, here comes the howitzer. Oh,
Wow.
here comes the
Pain.
ends.
I'm amazed that the cannons are so grouped together.
Yeah, tier 3s, I mean, it's all luck at that point. But, like, it is purely luck. But, and it's good. It works.
Let's shoot this.
Ooh.
Oh, close.
He lost
Those
too many of
batteries.
those, yeah, he lost too many of those projectiles in the damaged accelerator. Yeah, bullet
Yep.
lifespan ran out. Otherwise, that would have been lethal, I assume. Like, that would have gone all the way through. Here comes the howitzer.
Oh, that's...
Kaboom. Nice, crisp, clear. And here comes the tier 3. Swing and a miss. God, the spread on those is so crazy. How close these cannons are together to start with, it just doesn't matter. They spread out enough.
I think the spread is enough to hit any base on vanilla 4v4 if you hit if you aim for the
now
middle.
So we're
we had
seeing,
pyro.
yeah, we're seeing a bit of friendly fire here, which just makes this whole exercise, just makes the whole thing drag on. The tier 3s don't hit often, but when they do, they hit hard. His tower is invulnerable. Uh-oh. Here come mortars. Mortars from both sides. Oh! Well, the tower got a little chopped off the top. Please don't... You know, the best part about this is Flint Shadow could literally just end Great Woo at any point in time.
You like that?
Like that, yeah.
Maybe himself too. That would be awesome.
Oh! Oh! It is!
Hilarity.
That was awesome.
That's gonna become a short.
Definitely.
Oh gosh, we need to get that in a replay.
Yeah, for sure.
We
That
need
was
to get
classic.
that in a replay. That is so good. Oh my god. Oh, wait a minute. Flint Shadow's cannons are already pointed directly at. Is the whole base come crumbling down on top of himself? Mutually assured destruction. Good god.
Oh, I'm crying. This is so good.
That was really good.
Okay. Next one.
Yes. Alright, next one. Ravine 2v2.
This one
This
almost
one
got
is
in.
by Felix, actually.
Uh-huh.
Alright,
Yeah, it was
so...
my personal favorite. It's quite good.
Ooh. Your personal favorite, nice.
Especially with that back fort.
Lead with the back fort. It is certainly... I like these forts because they're vanilla power level. Like, they're vanilla-like.
Okay.
But they're definitely custom. Fully custom. The one thing I had to say about this map is that it's vanilla levels of everything, but the they have easy to reach expansions with. They technically have a wind fort, but only really affects the bottom fort, and even then, not really. I do enjoy that the forts are vanilla-like but custom. It gives it a little extra variety, a little extra difference there. The way I described the aesthetic of this one is just open space. Like, we have these forts at the edge of an abyss. It just doesn't really have much. Like, it's almost like the aesthetic is emptiness. Even the terrain, very simple. There's not much in the way of doodads on it at all. Although there are a few doodads here and there. You've got open space above, open space below, open space behind. It's open, is what it is. That's
its thing.
That's its thing. Is how I described this one. This is another map where, on the forward fort at least, you can get a thick chunker of the base. So if you manage to expand to the lower foundations for the forward base, you can then build up, and you have extensive workspace to work there. So you have keeping up with the space theme. In terms of strategy and build order on these maps, Team 1, that's Great Ruin Flint Shadow, playing as the Firebird commander, opening with the, I don't want to say standard, but a fairly popular incendiary mortar opener. Just slamming on top of Iker Freak's turbines. Turbines are the number one target when you're playing incendiary mortars because they can be. But with the Firebird commander, it's a little extra damage, a little extra strength to those incendiary mortars. Whereas Great Rue is going to be going with the heavy weapons rush, so we expect to see. Is he seriously getting to the core? Oh, just kind of splash damage it where the sniper was. This is opposed to Hagelslagmaten. Felix and Ackerfreak are going for the Architect Commander. They're actually going to activate the Architect Commander right now to get that massive build speed increase and hurry along their tech so they can more quickly get out those heavy weapons. I say as they're not currently building any heavy weapons despite having the technology for it.
They're lacking some metal.
Yes, they are. Probably due to getting hit by these mortars. It's worth noting that Flint Shadow with the mortars is not actually intending to destroy the opponents. He's just doing a little timing attack here, intending to deal some damage and slow down the opponents, which seems to have worked quite successfully. The question is, I question if it was good enough. Yes, it caused them to burn the commander ability. Yes, it set them back. But here we see the howitzer being placed for Felix, whereas his teammate, Great Rue, has yet to place their own howitzer or cannon of any kind. Similarly, Flint Shadow himself has not yet completed his laser production tech, whereas Ackerfreak has completed and placed a plasma laser of his own. So at this point, Team 2 is just ahead, just in every regard, despite Team 1's aggression. Despite their successful aggression. That's something to consider. This is a map, of course, by Felix, who was one of the players in the game. He'd be saying that he was not informed that he'd be playing his own map, which, you know what, fair enough. At least he knows all the tips and tricks. Interesting note, and this is related to the state of the game here as to why Team 1 is so far behind on weapon counts and everything else. Great Woo actually went with the upgrade center and upgraded mines. So Great Woo does have substantially more economy than the opponents. The problem is it comes at the cost of having to spend that economy on repairs because, you know, they're getting hit by weapons. Which is not a great situation to be in, but over in the totality of time, it should pay off eventually. Here comes the howitzer, and ooh. For a moment I thought that would go into the return descender, but that was close. Flint Shadow taking 9% damage on their core from that hit, but otherwise no significant damage dealt. Commander ability active for Team 2. They'll increase that construction speed. Get a second howitzer on the field right quick. You see anti-howitzer defenses being constructed in the fronts of, well, Team 1 bases. Team 1 working on a second cannon as well. Still no real weaponry out of Team 1 aside from that first cannon. A buzzsaw doing some concerning damage to Great Woo here. With a plasma follow-up. Almost breaking Great Woo in half. Okay, Buzzsaw's a problem. Buzzsaw's a big problem. Guess now it's Great Woo's time to get buzzsawed. Flint Shadow finally happy at the brief reprieve. Commander ability active. Going for the trick shot.
Oh.
That could not have been executed any more perfectly. Dealing 40% damage to Acrofreak's core.
That's a great shot.
That was perfect execution, perfect timing, even down to the fire beam ignite. It was well done. Okay, so now here's the thing. Team 1, not much in the way of damage output. They've got 2 cannons and a Magna Beam. So they could get the trick shot in here and just end the game. That's gonna be a rough shot to make. Well, I guess they're not doing that. Oh,
I didn't know that happened
yeah.
with the return to senders. Oh.
Interesting. Funny enough, the return to sender 20 mils almost... They did actually hit the turbine in the back. Oh my god. They went tier 3 mode and made it across the map and hit Felix. Didn't do any real damage. But certainly fun to see.
Can probably make a very weird contraption of this.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh!
That's
The
huge.
friendly fire howitzer from the Magna Beam. That's something you don't see every day. Double cannon directly to the front. Acrofreak down to 33% core. And just mass machine gun out of Team 1 is igniting everything. Just causing mass damage all over the place, which is quite good. The Firebird fires cause serious problems if not handled immediately. And what ends up happening is you can use machine guns to just ignite everything everywhere, and almost inevitably something gets through. Something burns and it causes damage.
1% left for Acrofreak.
Acrofreak getting Acrofreak getting a little bit pummeled here. Needs to do something. He's got to return to sender out front, which will help against the splash damage, but it won't help entire. Like, it won't prevent splash. Oh no! Oh no!
Fantastic.
Felix with the team kill. Not purposeful, of course, but oh no, you hate to see it. You love to see it too. Oh jeez. So that's been fun. All kinds of madness going on here. Just honestly, the Magna Beam has been incredibly valuable, if only to weaponize Felix's own howitzers. Oh boy. It does it again. You know, the Magna Beam is much more effective against these. This is the most effective I've seen the Magna Beam be against howitzers. Like, usually in these matches, it's just not. It just doesn't work out. But on this match, it's been a big, important part of the game. Okay. You can do it. Here comes the ignite. Here comes the ignition sequence. Every one of those machine guns are firing incendiary bullets, so they will ignite any struts of wood that they hit. All cannons AoE affect the ignite everything in their effect, their area of effect. Miniguns are trying, but that's not going to do much. More fire, double howitzer, but Magna Beam is not available to send them back from whence they came. Howitzer lands, dealing 10% damage to Flint Shadow. Some return descenders keeping things going. Around and around. Magna Beam fires. Cannon from above, going to the trick shot. But straight to the front. Felix takes some splash damage, but nothing critical. Down to 75% total HP. As Flint Shadow and Great Roo expand themselves. Flint Shadow adding in an heavy laser, plasma. Looking to get some direct damage done themselves. Doesn't want to let Great Roo have all the fun, whereas Great Roo is adding in an extra cannon of their own. Uh-oh, return descenders offline. Flint Shadow taking a hit, bringing him down to 70. Oh! Secondary explosions. Flint Shadow down to 2% and dropping with an exposed core. That's it. Machine Gunner finishes it off. That's, oh boy. That's not ideal. Grey Woo attempting to expand to Flint Shadow's previous base. This is not a map where expansion is notably doable. Not without some incredible investment into stability tech. In this case, Flint Shadow expanded downward and gave him like a trunk to connect to in case of this kind of situation. So he's able to connect, but should Felix disconnect and actually severely damage the remnant Flint Shadow base, Grey Woo can likely be permanently disconnected from that extra economy. Felix sending out that 20 mil once again, aiming for the remnant base, taking out chunk after chunk. Felix activated commander ability for bonus build speed and constructing nothing. Cannon almost getting the doorstep, but not quite. Is it Magna Beam time for the second howitzer? No. It is laser beam time. Interesting note, Felix is down to 0 energy production, as at least 0 turbines. It only has the base energy production, which is not much. So Felix won't be firing weapons meaningfully fast, with any meaningful frequency. And, well, that's really all there is to say about that.
Oh.
Oh, that was so perfect. From below, but hits from above. Takes out one howitzer. The only silver lining is that Felix didn't have the money to fire the howitzer anyways, but still, losing an entire howitzer is painful. And now with the commander active coming from Great Woo, Felix is going to have to deal with rampant fires everywhere. Every single little bullet, every point of damage starts a fire. Every fire deals more damage, which Felix then has to repair. It hurts. It hurts so much. Well, I guess this does mean that Great Woo no longer has to collaborate with Flint Shadow to synergize with the Magna Beam. He can now do it himself, which actually makes his life a lot easier. Like, significantly easier, because you don't have to time anything with anyone. You just do it yourself. And here comes the triple. Double? Did you run out of energy? Ran out of energy. Okay. Great Root needs a little extra energy capacity. Get those bat trees going. God, Great. I just want to say, Great Root has floated just shy of 10,000 metal in this match. That's a lot of metal to float. You got all that extra eco with the upgrades, and it's going to the void.
Yeah, that's crazy when you compare it to Felix, only 573.
Yes, I mean it's the economic advantage at this point. Eventually, Great Woo will just have so much more stuff than Felix that he can't really compete. Really, Felix needs to focus on just dealing as much damage as he can to the weapons. And trying to get those door snipes in, just to buy himself extra time and try to cut down Great Woo as much as he can, because he's not gonna do unless he gets a collapse. Like if he gets a door snipe on one of the cannons that causes everything to fall, but that's like the best case scenario. He's got a 20 mil and a howitzer, both of which are just not realistically capable of doing that. However, he is architect and did just insta-construct a cannon, which can door snipe things, and he's got the howitzer hit, so he can get in and do a follow-up shot with the cannon. Right now, as I suspect you're going to see, before that shield comes online.
What?
Felix? Maybe? No? Okay, Felix has other priorities right now. Fair enough. Did reveal that he's got a cannon and is immediately being targeted and destroyed. The laser beam follow-up. I'm so happy the Magna Beam is still alive. Commander active ability out of Great Roo, so we're going to see substantial machine gunnery and similar, which should enable some extra Oh, really? Incendiary buzzsaws. That's it. I should have seen that one coming. That's one of the more popular strats. Oh, that might do it. Oh,
so close. There we go.
Not even.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, there it is. Burns to death. There you have it. Death by fire. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to all of our players who have helped participate, giving us these great showcase matches, as well as extra shout out to all these map creators. We've made these grand and glorious maps. That last map was Ravine 2v2 by Felix. And now we get to do these scores. Reveal our top 5. Well, we revealed the top 5, but reveal the winner. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is actually a prize to the winner of this competition, yes?
Yes.
Would you like to tell us about that?
So, I'll go ahead and tell you. The winner of this contest gets their map included in the map pool for the Season 2 of the Forts Pro League coming soon. So all the competitors will get to compete on that map as well as all the other great maps we have. And of course they will get a map making contest championship medal as well. So let's find out who that's going to be.
Yes, I'm excited. Everyone has their votes in?
Yes.
Looks like it.
Looks like it, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, just to add is the in the prizes for winning this are Steam gift cards.
Yes.
I believe it is the 100 USD for first place.
Correct. 50 for second place and 20 for third.
Excellent.
Good work. Okay. So, Jeff, do you want to reveal from in reverse order?
In reverse order. Yes, I could do that. Let me just make sure I got this right here. I think that's correct. Yep. So in third place, we have Flint Shadow Skylines map.
Congratulations, Flint Shadow.
Yes.
Excellent work.
Yes, indeed. That was the one that we quite liked the look of it. I think maybe the criticisms were about busyness, and that sort of thing. I can't remember other things that we said about it.
How was the go?
Yes. Cool looking map. In second place is Mech 70 for his boonies map. Out in the boonies.
Good job, Mech 70.
Which is awesome. Congrats, Mech. And drum roll, please. In first place for the Forts map making contest, number 5 is Mandalorian Jedi with his Mount Fuji map.
Congrats, Mandalorian Jedi.
Yeah,
Excellent
which is awesome.
work.
Nice.
Really cool map. And
Love
I
that
think
map.
we're gonna see some really cool battles in the FPL on that one. Seeing people take advantage of the debris field that's hanging above everybody and using that with various strategies.
Yes.
Excellent. And well done to all the competitors. We had some great entries this year. Fantastic.
As usual,
close.
it's so consistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys make so many maps for forts. I'm just happy that we can have an opportunity to showcase them and actually appreciate, like, give them the appreciation and, you know, bring out some more fun with it. Like, it's great.
Yeah. Really good work. And had a lot of fun tonight. Some great battles and some great strategies and shots.
Some good memes.
Some hilarity.
It was really
Gosh, I need to go see that replay.
good. Yeah.
I need to go see that replay. That was this one, I think. Figure out what on earth was going on with the tier 3s here.
Oh yeah, that was good. And huge thanks to our 2 teams from the FPL who played as our guinea pigs on these maps.
Guinea pigs, I love it.
Yeah.
Really good. And
Professional guinea pigs.
Yeah. And Kronk and 42 Scientist and Romero Lagos who were helping out in the background.
Absolutely. Forever helpful.
Yeah. Good fun.
And that Incursus guy, he's not too bad.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job.
I like to show up sometimes.
Yeah.
The show rolling.
Yeah.
Oh lord. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out this replay real quick of that team killing incident with tier 3s from below. Get a nice slow motion of this. Because this is where this one got such a good laugh. Like, this was clearly not a competitive round, but oh my god, was it satisfying to watch. The karma Great Woo just gets exactly what he deserves.
Yeah, because he was dumping, he was trying to chuck howitzers on his teammate, right?
Yes, he did so successfully several times. And then, oh
Yeah,
God.
I almost want to hear like the Blue Danube playing while this is going.
It just doesn't. It's just perfect. It's just perfect, is what it is. Oh Lord. All right, guys. Well, I want to say thank you again for joining us. Thank you, 42 Scientists, Crocodator, and Romero, for putting on. For putting this on and getting everything together and doing all the cat herding and managed behind the scenes. Once again, thank you for Blammo and Nosehead coming in, the developers here at Forts, actually creating the game and putting all the support into the community. Thank you again to the competitors. Thank you for showing everything off here. We have Croconator, Acker Freak, I'm sorry, Felix, Acker Freak, Great Woo, and Flint Shadow. Once again, thank you for participating, giving these maps the playthroughs they deserve, and once again, shout out to all the map creators who have set in these beautiful maps: Flint Shadow, Mandalorian Jedi, Dronistium, Gibbs, Mech70, and everyone else, all the honorable mentions, and we had so many submissions, it was crazy. And once again, thank you all. It's been a great competition, a great contest. And I'll see you guys next time.
See ya.